literally matches the room.
I love it. Hell yeah.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, good God. Yeah, somebody just asked me, was like, dude, have you been home yet? And I was like, no. And they're like, how long have you been on the road? And I was like, I don't really know. I think it's like a week and a half or something. It's just been like one big crazy ride, because like the shows with Cheap Trick ended up getting yacked, but then we jumped over and went on the road with Collective Soul and went down south.
Wow.
Yeah, and like it was just wild.
We were a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, that was fun. We opened for Los Lobos up in Fort Wayne. And it's been crazy.
Just
running non-stop.
And now you're back, and here you are at my podcast saying, "What's up?
What up?"
Oh shit! All right, okay, are we ready?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well,
You guys ready?
yep. I'm doing good.
All right.
3, 2, action.
You talking to me? I'm talking to you. And this is Talking to Me, Talking to You. And I am joined by the Coty Hicks.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me back again.
Dude, yeah, welcome back, man.
Oh, dude, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming back, man. I was just talking before the podcast, your shirt.
Yo, you know me and my
matches
shirts,
the room, man.
And so I haven't even been to bed since last
Yeah,
night.
you told me.
This was the shirt that I wore to the Stone show, and I was like, I bought a tour shirt. I stopped at a truck stop, took a shower, put my new tour shirt on, threw the old shirt over it, and was like, let's hit this, bro. You know, let's
I love
get
it, dude. The energy is just right. I'm with it. So you went to a concert last night, right?
I did, yeah. I went up to Detroit to see the Stones, man. The Rolling
Yeah.
Stones. First time I've ever seen them. And it was so good, I'm considering going to Austin, Texas for the last show of the tour.
Wow.
It's in just a couple days.
Yeah.
Because you know the Stones, they're like mega rock stars. They play like one show, they're like off for like 5 days. They play like one show, off for like 5 more days.
Yeah.
Smaller guys are like every single night.
Yeah, there's grinding.
Yeah.
Stones are like, we've been doing
But
this
to
for
be
60
fair,
years.
you beat me to it. To be fair, they've been doing this a lot longer.
How long? 40, 50 years? Or is it?
Since the 60s.
Yeah, I think they were talking about Charlie Watts. I think they
so
they linked
60
up in
years.
62.
So 60 years almost.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah.
That's
Incredible.
That's insane.
And I mean, you couldn't even tell that these guys are like, you know, mid 70s. Like the way Mick Jagger's throwing them hips around, and it was just
Still,
I was like,
he's not throwing them out. He's throwing them around.
He's throwing them around, man. Yeah, absolutely. I know guys like
That's
my
awesome.
age that cannot control a stadium or a stage that big like they did. I mean, they really were just top notch. Like the hype is real.
Yeah.
You know, that's like I was like, I gotta go see. Like, let me check it out.
Well, because you said, I seen you made a post. You talked about how like that was your they're a big part of your Keith Richards. Is a big part of your inspiration.
I stole off so many licks and tricks and tips and stuff from his style of guitar, his chord voicings. I don't mess with the open G tuning. I know the Keith Richards guys will be like, oh, open G. I lean away from that. I do the other stuff. I try to keep it in standard tuning, but I do a lot of his styles.
Well, that's cool. So if that's one of your like main inspirations, what would you say some others would be?
Oh man, I always say like if you put like Keith Richards, Angus Young, Mike Campbell, which played lead guitar for Tom Petty.
Okay.
And maybe a little bit of Billy Gibbons, right? You put those four in.
Who's Billy Gibbons?
ZZ Top.
Okay.
Right? See the beard?
Okay.
Makes sense all of a sudden now. And actually, I seen them over the summer, dude. And they're beat with Elwood, and you know, Dusty passed.
Yeah.
And that's really why I went and seen the Stones, was because when Charlie passed, I was like, oh, they're gonna be done. This is good. They're gonna hang it up. They've never done a tour without Charlie, and I was like, if they're gonna do it, I'm gonna go. That's exactly what
Charlie played.
Charlie was the drummer in the Stones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know Keith and Mick Jagger. I don't know any.
Yeah, Ronnie Wood on the other guitar, and then originally the bass player was Bill Wyman. He's still alive, but he doesn't play, and Daryl Jones filled in, and now they have Steve Jordan on drums.
Okay.
Incredible lineup. I would just go see the rhythm section by themselves. I mean, the bass player and the drummer,
dude,
they're just...
They have hit songs, man. I mean, like many. Like I have
Stones are great.
Like not even they're like I relate them to the Beatles with like you've heard them a million a lot of their songs that you would not even know.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was them, but you know them very well.
Absolutely. And that was the cool part is like as they were going through their set list, I was like, man, there are still so many good songs that we're running out of time. They're not going to have time to play everything we want to hear. I mean, I was like, man, I loved it. It was just such a cool time. And I don't even know if it just, you know, my music career is really thrown into overdrive this last couple weeks, man.
Yeah.
The Summit, we're back out playing live.
I was just about to ask, yeah.
And it's just been incredible. And we opened for Los Lobos up at Fort Wayne. It was a pretty packed house, good sized room, man. And I just had so much fun. I mean, I've been waiting to be on a stage in front of this size of a crowd.
We talked when you first came here.
Right, yeah.
You had just joined the band, and you guys did a few practices.
Yeah, we did one live stream show during the COVID era.
Yeah.
But that seems to be wrapping up. Concerts are coming back. And everything's just been real cool, man. I didn't even expect. I was just the way they commanded last night, man. I literally like shed one little tear of
awesome.
Like just beauty of rock and roll, man. I mean, they were the real deal.
I did that at a Green Day concert, man. The last time they were
I don't cry at like sad things, like if somebody passes away. I'm like, that's really sad.
No,
it's tragic.
inspiration.
The beautiful
man.
things, dude.
Beauty.
I will weep. I will cry. I don't know what it is. I wish I could like put that in my pocket and not pull it back out. But
I'm with you. I explained it to Caden with like movies. Like I'm like, because we were talking, we were in a personal conversation, just talking about like what makes you like kind of tear up and stuff. And I was like, dude, honestly, man, like a lot of things do for me. Like I can watch a movie. A good example for me would be Little Miss Sunshine. Have you seen that movie?
I have not, but I'd love to watch it.
Okay, so there's a scene. So there's this kid. He's mute. He took like a vow of silence. He's trying to be a pilot. He's trying to join like the Air Force or something like that, and be like a jet flight pilot. And so that's his dream. So he does he works out, does this whole regimen to practice on getting into that. He's like a kid, so he's got a few years till he can do it. So he's getting ready for it. So much determination and like dedication to what he's trying to do. So as like the movie goes on, it shows all those little hints and shows him as a character, and he writes down what he wants to say and shows you on a piece of notepad.
Oh man!
And then towards the end, who is it? Who's the guy, the actor? Steve Carell. He's in it.
Oh,
he's
what?
In it.
Steve
yes,
Carell's
Steve
in
Carell's
this?
in it. Yeah.
Oh, I've got to see it.
Doctor? Was it Doctor? Yeah, he plays a gay doctor that just tried to kill himself.
Oh.
Because his partner left him and like took.
Look, this is comedian Steve Carell.
Yeah, comedian Steve.
Whoa, okay.
This was like 2006, 2005. Steve Carell.
Oh man, I've got to see this.
Yeah, so the kid writes like they're doing this little thing where like the color blind circles and like, what number's inside the circle. So they're playing one of those games, and the girl, and so they're doing it with Steve, and Steve's like, 26. I'm not. He's like, I'm not colorblind, and then it turns to the kid back there, and she starts doing this. She's like, what's it saying? He's like, I don't know. And he's like, and then the Steve Carell turns, he's like, I think you might be colorblind. And he's like, okay, that's like, he didn't like, he's like, that's weird. Okay. That sucks, I guess. And then he's like, you can't fly pilot.
Yeah.
You can't be a pilot if you're colorblind. And dude, it just broke the kid. Like, and he just like, he started freaking out and then got out the car and then just let out a big scream. And dude, that's just like a moment that just brings like, dude, it's like all, and it's like, did somebody die now? But like, dude, that's like, that's just a created moment through like an experience of like watching like how much something means to somebody, and then it getting like snatched like that.
I told and those are the things, man. The heartstrings.
Yeah, exactly. But you can get this from like concerts.
Oh yeah, just anything, like especially like inspiring things, like when you see like the little kids like on America's Got Talent, and they go out and they sing, and it's
they're
just like
awesome.
I cry. I'm like that little like what? Because usually like the parents are on the side crying their eyes out, and I'm like, oh, I got me too. But yeah.
It's good stuff, man. I mean, it's good to find a good emotion in things. Like,
and that was I was just about to say, I didn't even like know it was coming. I expected. It just hit me, man. I just like they had finished the song, man. It was loud. I don't even know what song it was, and I just like looked around the stadium, dude. And every seat was full. People were just on their feet screaming, and the Stones just down there, just with their hands up, dude. I just was like, this is what it's about, man. This is so much fun.
Absolutely. That's fucking awesome.
So I think it was just because like I've been like my music. I think that's why it hit me a little different. Because I've been to so many concerts. I've seen so many stadium fulls of different things. And it's never like hit me like that. I think it's just a connection with me. And then to see Keith, like you said, he's such a big inspiration to me. And like to hear him live and to see him command this place, I was like, it was like a dream, man. Like that's where I want to be.
That's very.
I want to be down there, man. However much work it takes.
It's cool to hear you too, like have that because like you've met, like got to meet a lot of like cool people.
Oh, dude. And the cool part is sometimes you meet somebody and it's for the good, and sometimes you meet somebody and it's for the bad. Like I've met certain professionals that they're really rude. They think they live in like this big world, or like it's like, first off, we're musicians.
Yeah,
we're not brain surgeons. You're not gonna save like somebody's life in a moment. I mean, you might. Like, your music saved me. Maybe that's something cool. But
for sure,
all I mean is like, just your ego is not
your
humble. Amigo. Be humble, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's all so cool. Like, even he's in a lot of heat right now, but Eric Clapton once said that he's like, I'm not the best guitar player, never claimed to be. I was just in the right place at the right time, the right connections, and I got some good gigs. And
dude, seriously, I mean, like, it's almost weird. Like, he almost came up on like with other things. Like, but you start hearing the name of Clapton, you're like, oh, who's the guitar player?
Clapton. Yes.
And then because he was playing with Cream.
Yep.
Who else did he play with? That wasn't signatured under him.
No, I don't want to say because I might be wrong. I think it was the Yardbirds.
Maybe. That sounds right.
He was in a lot.
He was in a lot
of stuff.
Another Page was in it too.
Ooh, maybe I might have that confused. Derek and the Dominoes though was definitely Clapton too.
Okay, yeah.
He was in a bunch of stuff.
Just made a lot of super classic songs.
And Steve Vai was the same way. Steve Vai started out with Frank Zappa and then ended up doing like David Lee Roth and White Snake, and just built like, who's that guitar player? Steve Vai. Who's that guitar player? Steve Vai.
And now he's just in his own.
And now he's just built his own name to where he's like, you just come see me.
Exactly.
I am Steve Vai.
I'm a guitar guy. Yeah. Which is the thing too, is like, he like, once he got past that part of his career, he really just, I'm the guitar guy.
Yeah, and
I play. I feel
like every guitar player, even if they don't want to, they're like, ugh, Steve Vai, you know.
You gotta give it to him.
I asked him one time when I met him. I was like, Steve, I was like, man, put me in the right direction. It's like scales, arpeggios, what's the thing? And he said, brother, all of it. I was like, oh man, I was hoping for like a sneaky answer, like, right here, man, do this. And he was like, all of it, dude. Just practice and time.
Hey, man, I'll teach you a little secret.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I didn't get it.
So you've gotten to get out and play more though now.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say with meeting people and how it can be good or bad. When I was young, 12, 13, my first cover band in my parents' garage, man, we did so much collective soul music. And to go on like out on the road and do a couple shows with these guys and to like see them and like hang out and everything, and they were so cool. And I had to tell the guitar player, like, look, man, I'll kick myself in the ass if I don't tell you. I was like, when I was young, we did so much of your music, and he was like, oh, dude, that's really cool, because like, one, that means like I put you on the right course, you know.
Yeah.
You know, getting to this level, you know, with Collective Soul's music.
Just through purely playing their music.
Yeah, you know, it was just that was where I cut my teeth on that, and you know, the Stones, and like I said, AC/DC, ZZ Top, all that stuff. But you know, it's all got me here, and those guys were so cool. Collective Soul, man, we went out. There was this. There's kind of, I think there's one in Cincinnati. It's like an arcade bar. It's like if you're drinking, they give you tokens.
Yeah, I've been there one.
We did one down in Macon, Georgia, man. We hung out with the guys, and they came out, and we just actually that place kicked us out at a certain time. They're like, look, you guys have partied long enough, so they kicked us to another bar, and we went there and partied just as hard, or if not harder.
Yeah.
And they were just awesome, man. And it was so cool just to be like, dude, like I used to listen to these guys, like, you know, now here we are.
And what an experience too to be able to do that, like hang out with one of your literally idols growing up that like helped you.
Even smaller world is if you have a Mahalo amp. It was built by Scott Phillips and his Mahalo team. It's a very small family. It's a very small network. It's my amp sponsor, and it's also Dean's from Collective Soul. And I had never met Dean, and I even prior to that, I was talking to his guitar tech, and I was like, man, I'm really hoping to chat with Dean about his Mahalo, because he uses the Coty 66, and I use the younger brother, the AEM 50. And he's like, oh man, he's like, yeah, well, you know, we'll chat with him or whatever. And later that night, I was like, hey man, Mahalo. And he's like, what do you know about Mahalo? You know, and I told him that, you know, I'm rocking the AEM 50. And like I said, it's a small company, you know, handmade. It's you know, very awesome stuff. Shout out to Mahalo amplification. Get you one. Go buy you one. But yeah, it was just cool to like connect with him on that level too.
Yeah.
Like, you were one of my musical heroes growing up, and now we're on the same amp company.
Yeah, that's
fun, man. Cool. Like we're just kicking it about that, man.
So I noticed you talking about like sponsored stuff. What I see you running around, you got these picks that you?
I do, man. My hippie picks, and I wish I had one on me. They're all in my guitar cases from playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the one and only arrowhead-shaped guitar pick.
Yeah, I was wondering what the shaping was. That's very cool.
Yeah, they're called hippie picks.
What's the guy's name that does this?
Mark Christopher. They're all handmade. He's a local dude. Since I've joined the team, they're now available at Willis Music. You can buy them, which was super cool. And they're really fun because, like, you know, when you're playing, you see somebody, you shoot a little arrowhead out. You know, it's like you're singing little arrowheads.
That's cool.
You know, they probably get it, and they're like, I have never seen a pick like that.
Next thing you know, make some like Ninja Star picks.
Yeah, I'll start. So we played the Los Lobos show, and there was this, like, she was maybe 4 or 5 rows in, and she was just into my playing all night. And I kept seeing her, and I'd point right to her, and I'd throw her a pick, and I'd go to the girl in front of her. I was like, dang it. I'd play another song, I'd point at her, I'd zip it out, girl behind her.
Damn.
I was like, too much. The last song, I said, this old lady's getting a pick. I jumped off the stage into the band was probably like, what is he doing? Where is he going? I was wireless, so it was cool. So I jumped off the stage, I go out into the crowd, I tried to put her hand on, I put a pick right in her and closed her hand. She was like, thank you so much. I was like, no, like, thank you. Like, cool. 'Cause she was all night. She was taking pictures of me and videos, like, that's what it's about.
Individualizing people, man. Like letting people know, like, hey, I see you.
I see you, man. Yeah. Because that's what it's about. Because like a lot of guitar players or musicians in general, they get up there and they're just in their own world. They're doing their own thing, and
they don't really have the time. It feels like
it's the connection, right? That's what I like. The connection, man. I like to go out. Like I can't wait until we go out and we do some shows with a younger crowd. Because if there's a little kid out there in the crowd, if I lay my eyes on a little kid, they're coming on stage for one song. They're going to look out at this crowd, and it's going to be a night that they'll never forget.
That's awesome.
And I'll be responsible for that. They'll be like, cool. Coty Hicks pulled me up in front of this big plate, you know. Yeah. I was like this big, and as soon as I see one, it's going to happen. I'll be like, you, come here, like side stage or something, like, you know, I'll play my guitar, something, man, because that's what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely.
I learned that from Bootsy. You know, he's a local dude, Cincinnati.
Bootsy Collins?
Bootsy Collins.
Yeah. I've met his son, Uwe.
Oh, yeah, Uwe's the man. Yeah, he's got a lot of good stuff going on. He just did an album release over at Urban Artifact, and it was terrible timing because it was the same exact night of the Zakk Wylde show at Bogart's.
Yeah.
And I was like double booked. Actually, I was like triple booked that night. And I was like, and the ones I ended up going with was with my dad. I can't leave my dad, you know. So we ended up going hanging out with Zakk Wylde for a little bit.
That's
and the Black Label guys.
You always end up getting in the coolest places, man.
Somehow, man. Somehow. It always works
out. Hanging out with you more often.
Yeah. Zack's the man, too, man. I'll never forget the time he was doing like a signing out at Guitar Center. And I took my daughter, and she was first grade at the time. And he's like, did this big signature, and she couldn't read cursive, you know. And without even skipping a beat, she was like, will you write that in first grader language? And he got the biggest kick out of it. He laughed and was like, he like block letter wrote like ZAKKWYLD. It was like, and it was on a school night, which was cool because they literally came out and they're like, look, if anybody has little kids, you come to the front of the line because we're running behind. It's getting late. You know, you guys have school because he's a father. He's a dude. That's
very cool.
And that's what I thought. I was like, man, Zakk is one of the most like inspirational, level-headed, down-to-earth, just coolest dudes. And those are my heroes.
Yeah.
Not the guys who brush you off or like, you know, I ain't got time for that.
No, yeah.
Without that body of people who do support you, you're nothing. You know, and
absolutely.
That's what I learned from Bootsy. I have seen Bootsy. His crew be like, dude, we gotta go. It's late. He will stay and take a picture and sign every single thing and see every single person that wants to say hi. He don't care if that line is wrapped around the stadium 3 times. He will stand there and do it. He will. He's just that cool of a guy, that nice of a guy, that appreciation to his fans and everything. It's just it was a page out of the Bootsy book that I put in my pocket.
Yeah.
You know?
That's wow.
For sure.
So it's definitely something to learn from, man.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and that's the cool part of learning, like to hang out with all these people, man, is not to like,
don't just have musical inspirations, but have
learn something from them, man. Yeah, absolutely. Learn how to, it's 2 things. It's called the music business. You know? It's a business. You gotta be profitable. You gotta be doing it. You gotta be on your stuff. And part of that is taking care of your fans, you know, and doing the PR and doing all that stuff. And I'm going to ask you a question before you beat me to the next one.
Sure.
How's the movie coming along?
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm so stoked. So these guys are super professional. I'm gonna give them a shout out real quick. I did a photo shoot with them. This is the second time that I've been on the podcast. They're super great guys, and they showed me a little snippet of the movie. And if you guys had this little teaser that I had, you would be just as excited as I am to see the rest of it. So please tell me how it's going.
It's going great. It's a mess, of course.
Yes, it's a production. If a production's not a mess, something's a little wrong, right? Yeah.
It's good that we are so close. Like within I've said it for such a long time, and I've lied to everybody. We are about 3 days, 2.5 in my personal opinion, from finished filming. Okay, and we're about 5 days into the editing process. Wow. So we started cutting and we started chopping, but it's.
Do you think you'll have to reshoot any of the content that you have shot?
We do think we will have to reshoot some stuff, but just very small parts.
Okay, that's good.
We've already reshot stuff that we had to do, just like some lighting problems.
Oh, of course, yeah, it's a production, man. Yeah,
yeah, but so not much we had to reshoot. It was just it's mostly. It's just it's crazy how long it's taken. For us, that's the biggest.
Well, you guys are so busy, man. It's not like that's your only project. I mean, you guys guys running. You guys. We're doing that, stuff,
and dude, there's just been a lot of humps in the road. I got COVID. Our director Josh got COVID, and that was like a whole month. So we're like, he got it for 2 weeks, and then I got it right after he got it, and I had it for 2 weeks. So it was a full month of just nothing. We couldn't do shit. But it's been good since then. Though we've been we slowly got back on track. We just don't have a lot of main stuff left, so we're just kind of we get together and we'll film for like an hour or so. Okay. We're like, all right, yeah, cool, we got it.
Fluffy scenes.
Yeah, we got it. We just gotta. It's just kind of timing and placement kind of stuff now.
Very cool.
We're on the very end. It's almost like.
So I don't want to push you. Do you think you have a release date as far as like an anticipation, a goal? We're trying to.
We don't have a month,
hard date yet.
We don't have a month precisely. Okay. But we're thinking, was it spring, summer 2022?
Okay. I'd say
spring, summer.
So
2022.
3 to 6 months, you'll be done. It'll be out. Nice. Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah,
I'm super excited.
That's at least a ballpark. I'd say spring, summer 2022. We're working on probably getting a trailer out soon. Not exactly sure. We got to get together and kind of finalize the ideas of it. We've been talking about it, but we it's on the way. It's coming. It's almost there. And dude, but I appreciate you being super excited for it.
Dude,
that.
Yeah. I mean, it looks so good. The quality of it itself, you got this guy over here on cameras, and he just knows what he's doing.
He's a beast, man.
He's just, it just looks, usually when somebody's like, oh, I'm making a movie, you're like, oh, that's super cool, let me see it. And it's the quality's, no, I'm not saying the movie's bad, because it could be really entertaining, but the quality kind of dips.
It's so wild.
Your guys' stuff looks like something that would be on the big screen, man. I was like,
dude, thank you so much.
I was like, I can't wait.
And I'll say it prospectively,
if you guys do a premiere party or whatever, I'm expecting an invite.
No, absolutely, dude, for sure. We definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
We got a ticket for you.
Sweet.
We're thinking we have a spot. We're gonna confirm all of it, but it's a nice.
Oh, you got to
it's a nice place where we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a whole run. We're gonna take it out and see if we can win any awards and stuff like that, festivals and stuff.
Very cool.
But
film festivals are fun.
That's why I'm not really sure yet.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm not sure, because I think we're gonna run that first and then do
I see.
premiere. Yeah.
You're juggling, man. You got a couple things up in the air.
Yeah, we don't know exactly yet. We're still discussing the route to take, because that's the thing that's weird about films is there's no precise route.
Oh yeah. Especially I don't trust anybody who says, "Oh yeah, this is exactly how it's."
Especially when you're making your own. It's just kind of roll with the punches and make the best thing you can.
So the cool part, with doing this one, is do you guys? Have you thought about doing the next project yet, or have you even not even got that far? Do you have any more ideas or
oh, you do? Okay. So we came from the short films, but we still have quite a few ideas lingering in that realm. And we have a full feature length written already. We've had that written. We wrote that I think before the movie.
You guys wrote it?
Yeah.
Nice.
So we wrote.
I love it, man.
We wrote that before we wrote this movie we're working on now. This movie we're working on now is like 38 pages long.
Something like that.
And then that one is 105.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a big boy. We wanted to work. We wanted to do something else before we did that.
Gotcha.
So we wanted to we wanted to take a step up before we tried to tackle a full length film, just to kind of dip our toes and see how crazy it was.
Exactly.
It was crazy.
Test the water before you do a cannonball.
Exactly. Yeah. And we still ended up doing a cannonball, but you know,
awesome.
it was just a smaller. It was from a smaller diving board.
Okay, it was in the shallow end.
Yeah, it was at the
you guys could like stand up if you needed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we didn't dive into the deep end just yet. It's that's the lessons that we kind of took from it though. Is that that was the goal. We were like, okay, so we want to make this full length movie. Let's try something smaller, but way bigger than what we've been doing, because we were doing like 2 to 8 minute long short films.
Yeah, the B&E, right?
That's B&E.
Yeah, I've seen them.
One, and then so we just decided like we just need to do something bigger. So this is gonna be anywhere from like 35 to 45 to 50 minutes, something like that. That's the goal, at least. And everything can change. It's all
in the air. Yeah,
it's it's almost like writing a song.
Oh, sure, yeah. And yeah, I totally know what you mean.
It's like it's like you get a formula. Like, all right, you got your genre. Cool. All right, you want it to be this.
Yeah.
All right, now you got your structure, your chord structure.
There you go.
And then, all right, well, what's gonna be the bridge?
We need a bridge. You beat me to it. You gotta have a bridge.
You know, and then let's end it. And are we gonna do a cha 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 ending, or are we gonna let it?
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah.
Just all that different. You know, it's just small detail stuff.
It's so funny you mention that, because sometimes when we're out playing live, sometimes we have real big endings on our songs. The cymbals are washing out. Other times we're. And it's over. I always sometimes towards the end, I'm like, which way do we do this one? You know, I'm thinking ahead, where does this one go? Do I need to hit it harder or get ready to stop? So yeah, I totally get it.
No, yeah, we're having fun with the movie. I did just see some stuff about you. You just gotten I didn't know this about you, but you're just got your license for substitute teacher.
I did, yeah. I've only got one call, and I unfortunately I couldn't do it that day. I was out of town. But, I got my substitute teacher license, and I think the reason I'm going to do it is because I had so many cool subs.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
people that, shout out to, Miss Kelly. She was... I only seen her when she subbed. She was never a teacher at Georgetown. But she was, this cool guitar player. She was a cool singer. She could talk just like Bart Simpson. She could draw like nobody's business.
That's awesome.
She was super smart. She was an awesome human being. And then all the other cool educators I had along the way, that inspired me to, just to make... Young people are so impressionable. And some of them have harder times than others. Kids, come from better families, worse families, and this, that, and the other. We all have stories and backgrounds. Well, you just, I can go out and just plant a couple seeds in these kids' mind just to let them grow into, some kind of a little garden in their head. Of maybe something they might not have anything. They might not have any ideas of what's beyond right now. Yeah. Especially high school kids. They're just right now. It's okay, the JVS has me over there a few times a year, and I talk to them as a motivational speaker, and I just play it in chronological order. I say, okay, you guys, whether you're a junior or a senior, you might have one more year of school, and then you're going to graduate, or you're going to graduate, and then what are you going to do? Where are you going to live?
Yeah.
How are you going to pay your bills?
Yeah.
What kind of job are you going to pick? What kind of stuff do you need for that job?
Gotta figure it out.
And you can see the light bulbs just start to come on, and kids are like, wow, and I just set it up. I'm going to go do the same kind of motivational speaking with I can't remember the school district. It's one of the band, the high school bands. And I can't wait to do it, because I'm going to tell these kids not only are you about to graduate and you have your whole life, but band students particularly have a leg up on just if you don't do extracurriculars or whatever, because you learned a skill.
Yeah.
Last night at the Stone Show, there was a sax player. There was a I don't even know what that big curly thing with. I don't know, a bassoon or something. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, they got a horn section.
And you know them guys are getting paid. Oh, that could be any of these kids. I think
for sure.
I got a message again. Everything's been really like coming together in the last 2 weeks, and this dude hit me and he was like, "Dude, I just got to tell you, you are a huge, like a big inspiration for us other like small Brown County guys. Like he was like, I feel like I could really like get somewhere because like I see you and you're doing it." I'm like, dude, Georgetown, where I live, we had a president of the United States come out of Ulysses S. Grant.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he grew up right in that town. I
didn't know he was in Georgetown.
Yeah, he went on to defeat the South in the Civil War and be the president of the United States. And he grew up in the same town that we're from.
That's crazy.
So don't ever limit, you know, what you think between your ears, man, because you can do anything, you know. And that's the other thing is a lot of guys are like, man, you're so lucky you're out on the road and doing that and doing this, and how do I get there? And I'm like, man, I'm going to tell you, one, it's not as glamorous as it looks.
No.
It's a whole lot of travel time.
Yeah.
You're up at 4 a.m., you're on the road for 12 hours, you're going to lift a bunch of heavy crap, you're going to do a sound check for 5 minutes, then you're going to hang out for a while, and you're going to play like maybe an hour if you're lucky. You get a 30-minute set, you know, an hour if you really got something cool. And you're out of there. And then guess what it is? Tear down, load up, travel. Like, it is. And a lot of guys that want to do it aren't willing to do those things. And it's like you have to be willing to do those things to get places. Well, you know, it's like you got to put the work in. Nobody's going to call you and just be like, hey, I got you a dream job.
For sure, dude. You got to make your own opportunities.
Yeah. Like, just get out there and
that shit. And that's a conversation I was just having with Kate earlier today. That stuff passes you by if you don't take it. Like, if you don't like, and that's where you seem like you take the opportunities when they set foot. But did you do like you just named off like so you're a substitute teacher.
Yep.
You play music with a band.
I teach music too.
You teach music.
Yeah, I teach almost every day.
Yeah. I
have students, which is so fun.
What you said you went out and
oh yeah. I roadie for bands, man. I do that. I'll do I guitar tech. I do Aflac. I work for Madeira Hammock Company.
You run guitar
the guitar club for 2 counties, Brown County and Claremont. We're actually going to expand over to Adams, and then I think we're going to add an additional one over in Florence. So yeah, a lot of things in the works on that. I mean, my whole thing is autonomy. I like to. What's that word? I like to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
Amen, brother. I'm the same.
That is autonomy to me is, and I think that's what people lack is they just don't know how to do it. So it's like you just gotta hustle, man. You gotta work. You gotta, laziness is never gonna get you anywhere. At least it hasn't for me. It's
absolutely.
So you just gotta. That's Shia LaBeouf, right? That do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. And that's all he was saying. He was just do it.
That's what it takes.
That's all it is. Do it.
Start.
2 words.
Just start. And sooner or later you'll figure it out.
You'll learn as you go. I'm still learning in all ways.
I'll always learn.
Every time I go into a gig and I interact with a band that's bigger than me, they have a way different philosophy of the way their stuff goes. Yeah. And I've learned a lot just from that. So it's like, when we go out on the road, it's like, hey guys, I learned a couple. Let's try this.
Let's try these ways. Yeah.
And then everybody's like, wow, okay, sweet. Yeah.
It's good. It's good to be open for interpretation of all things. Like, just be willing to take stuff from, because as soon as you think you know everything, you lose.
Yeah.
As soon as you think you know everything, you lose. And always be willing to learn, always be open-minded about stuff, because especially in music and art and entertainment, you could look at it thousands of different ways, and it's still technically the right way. You know what I mean? There's no right or wrong. It's all based off of opinion. For the most part.
Totally.
That's very cool.
And I think it goes back to I said it's why they call it the music business. It's like you talk about my sponsors and all that, and that's I was super green, I went to NAMM for the first time, and I'm walking through all these booths, and I'm like, man, wouldn't it be cool to be over there? And this old man says, all you have to do to be over there is find a way to make that company $1 million. He's like, they'll put you right in that spotlight like that. He said, it's a business, man. He said, the only thing they care about is dollars. He's like, if you can sell 5,000 guitars for this company, you're in. That's all it is. It's a business. And people just, they think a sponsorship's free stuff. Like, oh, yeah, I get free picks. No, I pay for my picks, you know. Oh, you got a free amp. No, that thing was not free, you know. And it's an agreement saying, look, I'm going to go out and work for these companies. I'm going to push hippie picks. I'm going to tell people to use them, try them, you know, hopefully fall in love with them. Same thing with the Mahalos. They're great heads. And some of the people, I'm still learning who all is in the Mahalo family. And it's like super cool. It's like Blackberry Smoke and Collective Soul and me. I'm like, wow. And it's just super cool. And all that was just, you know, putting your foot in and just saying, hey, you know, I remember
You're just willing to be in the in the fire.
Before
man.
I had any endorsements, I messaged a guy who had a bunch of artists. He builds guitars, and I never did sign with him, but I just shot him an email and I said, hey man, when you sponsor somebody, what are you looking for? What do you expect out of them? And he blah 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 blah. And I said, okay. And I took that and I went to somebody else and I said, hey, let me do blah 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 for you. And they said, dude, if you would do that, we'd love to. And I'm done.
Booyah. Wow.
You know, it's just making it happen. Again, back to Bootsy. Funk is making something out of nothing, you know?
Amen, man. I think that's everything.
Like for musicians, man, I was watching the Tom Petty documentary, and I was really sad. They released it on his birthday in only a few theaters, and there was only like 2 in Cincinnati that was doing it, and it just didn't work with my schedule. It was like they only had like 2 showings a piece, and it was like terrible hours. But they released the whole thing on YouTube, and all this travel time, I definitely watched it a few times. It was about him making the Wildflowers and just about his journey and learning and everything. It was just so inspiring, and I think anybody who is even like considering getting into that should just be very clear to yourself on your own terms and your own goals and your own expectations, because like I said, your ego is not your amigo. So don't even put your ego in the fight, because it hurts when he gets beat up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just take him out of it and just be like, hey, sir, can I work for you? No, you can't. All right, thanks. Go to the next guy.
Yeah.
Don't take it personal. Don't get beat up. Don't think that you're not what they were looking for.
100%.
Maybe he just doesn't have the time to take on somebody else. Maybe his company's about to go under. Maybe you don't want to be a part of that company.
You don't know what's...
you have no idea, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like one day they were like, hey, we're called Gibson. Somebody was probably like, I never heard of you.
No, yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like you're
it's what
we all have a starting point. You know, don't underestimate anybody's starting point. Yeah, I think.
Don't underestimate, because and I'm a big fan of retribution stories.
Oh yeah, absolutely, you know? Yeah, man.
So you know,
I got a head start on life. We'll say that. Yeah. Married, father, 16 years old. You know, and still with that girl. Been with her since the 8th grade. Shout out to my wife Karen. And she puts up with all my crazy music shenanigans. And a lot of guys are like, dude, I don't know how your wife let you do that. And I was like, man, we've been together for more than half of our lives. At this point, it's just as much her goal to see me do it as it is mine. Like, she's like, know, go do it. You know, go do your thing. She don't mind at all, and it's awesome.
That is awesome, man. And dude, you are an inspiration, dude. And
I appreciate that, man.
Coty, dude, thank you so much, man.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Dude, it's been a blessing.
Especially like I haven't been to bed in like 2 days.
Came straight here.
Yeah,
straight here from the concert.
Yeah, straight. Well, yeah, we
from
stopped
Detroit Rock City.
From Detroit, we went to a couple bars, warmed up there, went to a casino.
Well, let's get you to bed, man.
Let's do it, bro. I appreciate you having
Thank you so much, man. This has been Talking to Me, Talking to You. Thanks for watching.